Sam and Ron here with a perfectly imperfect marriage, and wanted to talk a little bit about this perceived or realistic divide in household responsibilities. You know, when we coach couples, one of the things that we hear is that one spouse often feels like they're taking on more of the household chores than the other, and it creates this animosity, this resentment.
The great divide of chores.
It's the great divide.
Which there really should be a divide. I think that doing chores around the house, be it inside or outside, because there's your landscaping, mowing the lawn, all those kind of things, as well as cleaning, cooking, laundry, all of that should be shared between the husband and wife. And if you have kids, there's no reason the kids shouldn't be pitching in as well.
Oh, no, they absolutely should be.
Teaching them how everybody contributes to the mess. Everybody should contribute to the great cleaning.
I agree with that. Absolutely. But I would also say that work to your strengths. Like each of us have different strong suits. So you may be more proficient at something, therefore you can do it better and faster. So work to your strengths, if the palm tree out front needs the fronds trimmed,
it's not me.
Yeah, I'm going to do it.
Or a Christmas light hanging outside.
Or the Christmas up and down the ladder.
Yeah. Now on the inside, I do the vacuuming, get into all the nooks and crannies. But we do share things like the dishes. We will clean up dinner together and load the dishwasher, wipe down the counters. I do a lot of the dusting, but when I don't have time, you'll do the dusting.
If we've got company coming over, it's definitely a united front.
Yes. So there's no reason that both partners, again, and children cannot be contributing doing this all together, because it is something we hear a lot from couples. One of them feels that they are doing more of the housework than the other.
So to back this whole thing up, you got there for one of two reasons. Either in the beginning, you started doing it and there was no conversation about who was going to do what. And now that you've been doing it for a certain period of time and the other spouse isn't helping out, you're getting resentful. Again, not having the conversation. Or in the beginning, you never sat down together to define some of these roles.
Yeah.
And I think that is the starting point in all of this, is to talk about it.
And we won't go into it right now, but something that came right to my mind as we're talking about this is this expands into so many other areas. And this is just a little drop in the bucket, but it's unspoken expectations.
Expectations can be a very loaded word.
Yes.
I heard this once years ago. It's like writing a movie script where everybody in your life is playing a role in this movie, but you don't give anybody the script. So they're never going to do what you expect them to do. How can they live up to your expectations if you never tell them what your expectations are?
And the bad part of that is you're both going to be frustrated.
Oh, yeah.
And aggravated with each other. And hence comes the arguments, the resentment. Nothing good comes out of it.
And the longer you go without having the conversation, the more resentment you're going to feel. Yeah. It's like that never-ending wheel, perpetual, where you just keep doing the same thing over and over again and praying for a different result. It's not going to happen. You really need to be intentional and have the conversation. And even if you didn't have the conversation in the beginning, that's okay. You're at a point now where it needs to be squared away. So have the conversation.
And realistically, I would believe that probably more than half of the conversations are going to be good. Like, the other person isn't going to get mad at you and be like, I'm not helping in this house. I'd have to say probably 60%.
I'd go even
There'd be a high
higher.
number. They're going to be like, oh, okay, well, yeah, let me help. How can I help?
And that is the goal right there. I mean, we are supposed to be serving each other. I'm supposed to serve my wife. My wife is supposed to serve me. This isn't like a who's better, who's lesser kind of thing. But the goal, we're in this together.
Yeah.
You know, so I want to serve our marriage in the best possible way I can. And if part of that is unburdening her with certain things that she's doing, or even if the weight isn't that far off, if it's creating a burden, part of my goal is to unburden her.
Outserve each other. We just said this to our last coaching session this week to a couple.
Mhm.
We said the goal in marriage is to outserve each other. And we go out into the world, work, school, other friends, other, whatever we're doing. And we do that with other people. And then we come home and we're like, I don't know if this is subconscious. Do we think when we get home, I've been doing this all day long, now I need to be served? Like we switch it off?
Or you give so much at work or wherever you're at, whatever you're doing, and then you get home and you got nothing left to give.
Yeah. And home should be where it should at least be equal. I don't know if it should be more, but when you look at the hierarchy, it's God, yourself, your spouse, your kids, your family, everybody else. So really, you should be given more at home than work.
And in that hierarchy, which is absolutely true, but when you say self, it's not
selfish.
It's not like selfish pleasures and things like that, or being selfish. It's self-care.
Yes.
You know, it's doing the things that you have to do so that you're in the right emotional state of mind, spiritual health, as well as physical health.
Yes. And a couple minutes ago, Galatians came to mind because we were talking about serving others. I don't remember how you said it, but I just wanted to throw that out there. Biblically, the handbook to life.
Yes.
In Galatians, and I'm going to paraphrase this, but it's serving others humbly. Again, the goal is to outserve your spouse.
Mm-hmm.
And if your goal is that, your relationship has nothing but success coming.
When you fine-tune these 3 skills in your marriage, life gets so much better. Humility, forgiveness, and servitude. And when you figure out how to incorporate those 3 things in between the 2 of you, life gets a lot better.
Ooh, say that again. Grow? No. What did you say?
Forgiveness.
Wait, grow.
Humility.
Restore.
And what was the last one? Oh, servitude.
Strengthen.
There you go.
So that's our GRS. If you're not familiar with the program that we offer people, this is a plug. Yes, this is a shameless plug because our goal is to help couples.
Yes.
And those 3 lined up beautifully with our program, which is the GRS program, which is grow, restore, and strengthen. That was good.
Yeah. It wasn't bad.
So I had to throw that in there. But back to the topic at hand, and then to wrap it up, we did come with some suggestions.
Oh, look at that.
And then,
we have a list.
We end with a challenge. Our last video, we did. Oh, I guess we did challenge. But anyway, focus. This is why we write things down. Rabbit holes. So some practical tips. You can do a chore swap.
You can.
Like what you normally do or I normally do. Let's swap it for a week.
Within reason. I'm
just to take
still
it
not
off.
going to ask Samantha to climb up a ladder with a chainsaw.
No.
But
I could try.
Yeah, no.
That's funny. Those TikTok videos where you see the wife walking past the
with
husband.
With a sledgehammer or the drill.
We know you've seen them. They're funny and you laugh. Okay. Chore swap.
Mm-hmm.
Celebrate each other's contributions.
Yep.
I appreciate that you do the towels on every Tuesday. Towel Tuesday.
Towel Tuesday.
So I don't wash towels anymore. Well, mostly. But show appreciation for what your spouse does, that they do consistently, and don't complain about. They just do it because they're serving.
I like clean tiles too.
That too. And then lastly, we talked about this a couple different times now, and that is teach your kids to contribute.
Yes.
Teach them the importance of working together as a family.
Mm-hmm.
Because what you're teaching them now, when they're older, however many years from now that is what they're bringing to their relationship. And you are creating generational legacy, generational success.
Absolutely.
And it'll just keep paying dividends.
Yes.
So that's all I got.
Alrighty then.
You got anything else?
I think we're good.
All right, everybody. See you next time.
Take care.